have to really remember when I travel that I'm not in Dubai. I kept leaving my purse down while we were shopping because when I'm in the Dubai mall and I'm shopping, I literally can leave it on the bench and I can go look at my purses or my shoes or whatever, and it's there when I come back. You can leave things. Or when I have investors that come and visit me, I'm like, let me ask you a question. What colors are Dubai's police cars? They're like, wait, I've never even seen a police car. I'm like, exactly. To purchase a new construction property in Dubai, there are 5 things that you need. 1 is a passport copy. 2 is a utility bill with your mailing address. 3 is an email address and a phone number.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Millionaire Mentorship Podcast. We've got a very special guest coming from Dubai, all the way in Dubai. Denise Williams, the broker, hailing from Atlanta, Georgia, sold millions of dollars worth of real estate and then became the first African-American broker in Dubai. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's awesome. So tell us about your story and like where you're at now. Like you're living in Dubai, which is totally cool in my opinion. That's about what, 6,000 or 7,000 miles from the United States?
Yes, almost 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
yes.
what brought you to Dubai?
So great question. Everyone is always so curious to know how. And my journey is quite simple for me. It might be complicated for most, but it all started with vision. I started my real estate company in 2018. I started my real estate journey in 2012. But in 2018, before hiring my first agent to onboard with my own firm, I named it Williams & Co. International Realty. So I always wanted to have an international arm when I began my real estate firm. So I gave myself a 5-year window to open abroad. Initially, I was thinking I would start somewhere within like a 4-hour flight of Atlanta, since that's where I'm from, or moved from, like, Jamaica or a DR or somewhere with low barrier to entry. But when I visited Dubai, I just fell in love and I felt so differently about this market. I came to visit with Steve Harvey and his group. So shout out to Tabiti for the invite as well as Paige. And of course, being with them, I had an elevated experience, right? But although I was able to hang with celebrities for a week or so, what I noticed the most about Dubai was its booming real estate market. So literally on every street I was going by, there was so much development happening, right? So when you're in real estate, of course, your eyes is going to go to what construction is happening, what are they building, where are they going? And so when I did more research on the market, I was like, you know what, if I'm going to go international, it needs to be Dubai. It checks all the boxes from the inventory that's available for sale, because at the end of the day, the numbers are the numbers. I come from the Atlanta real estate market. During my lifetime, I will never see listings the size of listings in LA or New York or Miami. But in Dubai, they're the 4th largest luxury real estate market in the world. So in 2022, they sold over 211 properties over 10 million USD. So for me, I was like, look, I only need about 5 of those, and I'm happy. I wanted to position myself in a market where I could truly reach my financial goals and maximize my potential.
Well, I applaud you for believing in yourself. And I always tell people, like, I've moved several times. I just moved to Kansas City. And I believe if people stay in the same place, there's no comfort in change, but it makes you believe in yourself, right? Because that's the only person you could be successful in Atlanta, but I really enjoyed what you just said there, Denise. So you were just straight up like, I'll move there for money because I saw opportunity.
Yes.
And when you mentioned Jamaica, it's like, you can't make no money in Jamaica. You can't make no money in the DR.
Yeah. The title would have sounded fancy to say I'm international, but I would have still been facing the same challenges as far as market potential, if not worse, because those environments are even less stable, So at the end of the day, you have to go where the money is. You have to align yourself and position yourself to win. And I believe that Dubai is the market for that.
How long have you been there now?
So I relocated in 2022. I've been visiting back and forth since 2021. just learning the market, building relationships before I actually moved here full time. And it's been
Yeah, smart.
incredible. Yeah.
So there's another guy who I follow who recently moved there too.
Okay.
Max Maxwell, are you familiar with that guy?
I know Max. Yes.
Okay. I thought it
Yeah.
was strange. I thought it was strange that he moved, but now I've been hearing about Macau for the last 15 years. I knew a lot of people in when people were leaving Vegas during the Great Recession, they were
Hmm.
going to Dubai because of all the construction that was going on out in Dubai.
Hmm.
So let's talk about why people. You said there was 211 properties that sold for over, or 200 plus properties that sold for over $10 million a spot. So
Yes.
obviously, there's a lot of big money coming into Dubai.
Hmm.
Why is it coming there?
So that's a great question. Dubai is the number three safest place to live in the world. Let's start there. Why? Because what price tag can you put on safety? It doesn't matter how much money you're making in the US or wherever it is that you may live. If you can't drive the Bugatti that you worked hard to buy because you feel like you're gonna, lose it, or the chain or the watch that you want to wear because you might get robbed, what lifestyle is that? That really impacts your ability to enjoy the fruits of your labor. In Dubai, you don't have to worry about that. It is a place for luxury, and I absolutely love that. And which is another reason we have a luxury lifestyle. So I'm a resident in an area that is focused heavily on tourism. So I can literally pop in the city and go to the newest restaurant, or go to the tallest tower in the world, or go to, some of the most luxurious places I've ever seen. And I love that environment because why? It continuously challenges you to think bigger. And that's the third reason. Vision. The
Right.
Sheikh vision for Dubai is to double its population by the year 2040. So what does that mean for investors? You're now going to be on the front end of a sheikh who's a visionary to double their population. That means that people are going to need somewhere to stay. So if you're an investor and you invest now, obviously you'll be able to take advantage of the upward trends of the market prices over time. So would you want to continue to invest your money into a market that's depreciating, which are depreciating markets in certain states in the US? Or do you want to use those dollars, which are currently 3.67 times greater than the Durham, to invest into a new market that's on the upswing? So for me, I wanted to diversify my currency and earn currency in different currencies.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. So why the push for all this growth? And who? I mean, Dubai came out of the freaking. I mean, the cool thing about it reminds me a lot of Las Vegas, just from
Mhm.
what you're talking about. But the major difference in Dubai, and it's a critical one, is I think they have a port and they're on the ocean, right? And so
Yes,
when in Vegas, you're stuck in the middle of the freaking desert, like you are
yes,
on an island with dirt. In
uh-huh.
Dubai, you're in the desert, but you have water. Big deal, right?
You're in the desert, but you're in Miami, you're in the south of France, you're in New York City. They've literally taken the best parts of the world and put it into one emirate, and like you mentioned, a lot of people don't even realize that Dubai does have a port. They actually have a cruise line. The Emirates are going to be creating an Emirates cruise line that'll be launching, I believe it's coming out in 2025. But you can take a cruise from Dubai. A lot of people don't even know that. There is a ton of water in this desert. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. I absolutely love it here. But speaking of Vegas, they're actually going to be having their first casino opening in the Middle East. That's already been
Oh,
announced. So
oh
imagine the
man.
amount of money that will be flooding into the Middle Eastern market from people all over the world, or even just the local market itself, because it's already on the top 10 GDP list at 52 years old, the UAE. So how incredible is that?
That's awesome. So I wanted to go backwards where you mentioned safety because I've heard that a
Yeah.
lot about Dubai, and Mexico's my happy place, and
Okay.
I always get like a bunch of people saying, "Oh, it's so dangerous." I'm like, "Are you from freaking United States?" And I've been to Atlanta a lot, and we know that Atlanta is a dangerous place. Kansas City's a dangerous place,
Mhm.
and the United States is a dangerous place. So for people who are thinking about like you lived in Atlanta, so I'm going to speak specifically to Atlanta. Atlanta is a very crime-ridden place, especially in a lot of the areas in the inner city. It's there's a lot of crime going on there, and it's a massive. But you also have a lot of development. You got Coca-Cola, you got Delta Airlines, you've got CNN, you've got a major corporate structure. It's the biggest airport in the world, I believe.
It is,
but it's also extremely unsafe. Like, we were just there to go check out a Braves game. We stayed downtown. There's tons of homeless people downtown. There's tons of people begging you for money. How many homeless people have you seen in Dubai?
Right there. So they have what they call a zero unemployment policy. So that means everyone here has to work. Now, there's pros and cons to everything. Now, not all of those jobs pay well, compared to American standards, but to where they're coming from, oftentimes it is higher than what they would make in their home country, which is why they come here. But some people don't like that. You will have people online that speak about the labor costs and things of that nature that they don't feel are fair. But right. I mean, I believe that every economy was built on low wage workers, and it is the have and the have nots wherever it is that you live. I think it's just a little bit more prevalent in the Middle East. So at the end of the day, it's pros and cons to everything.
That's cool. So Denise, what's selling real estate? What are the differences? I've sold as a realtor. I'm not on my license anymore, but I sold 3,000 homes, and it's different in every state. So what's it like? I mean, I know in Australia, they don't even pay commissions. What's the commission structure like in Dubai?
So that is something that everyone is curious about. There are several differences when it comes to the real estate market in the US and in Dubai. So my niche here in Dubai is new construction, which they call off plan. The reason that I chose this as my niche is because it's the lowest barrier to entry for foreign investors, and it is the lowest cost to invest for investors. When it comes to barrier to entry, there are only 5 documents that you need to invest in Dubai from a new construction purchase. That is a passport copy, a KYC form, which is a know your customer form, just an anti-money laundering form saying that this money that you're investing is from a legal purpose, your email address, your phone number, and this missing one, email address, phone number, and that's it. Literally, you can purchase in Dubai with those simple documents.
Does that get you citizenship?
And a utility bill. That's the 5th one.
All right, so let's go through those again, because I think that's a viral video right there.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do to buy property in Dubai? There's 5 things you said. What are they?
Yes. To purchase a new construction property in Dubai, there are 5 things that you need. 1 is a passport copy. 2 is a utility bill with your mailing address. 3 is a KYC form, which is a know your customer form, anti-money laundering form, an email address, and a phone number. Those 5 items, along with your down payment, will allow you to purchase a property and become an international investor in Dubai. So it's extremely simple. So you notice I did not mention your credit score. I did not mention your tax returns, nor did I mention your bank statements. So again, you can purchase in Dubai without having those items to report or necessary to have in order to purchase here. And so, of course, when it comes to the U.S., a lot of people are knocked out of the investment, pool because they may have bad credit or they may not have filed their taxes, or they don't want to show their bank statements. Well, this market is like, hey, we want to support your investment ventures. Come to this market. You won't obtain citizenship, segue into your next question, but you can obtain temporary residency. And by way of real estate, that is one of the ways that you can do that, which is if you invest 2 million dirham or more, which equates to about 550,000 US dollars, you can actually apply for a 10-year golden visa, which gives you a 10-year residency in Dubai, which is incredible because that is the longest term that they currently allow for foreign investors. So for a minimum investment, you can get that long-term residency.
So for $500,000 in an investment in US dollars, I can get a 10-year golden visa that allows me. Now, what is being I guess in the United States in real estate, you've got insurance, property taxes, and then whatever your mortgage payment's going to be. In Dubai, what do you have?
No property taxes. So,
what?
No annual property taxes, 0 to 9% corporate taxes. And then also for personal taxes, there is no personal tax income in Dubai. For certain nationalities. The reason I want to plug that is because as a U.S. citizen, Uncle Sam wants to follow you around.
Oh
However,
yeah.
there is a minimum threshold that you can still earn without paying taxes, which is 120,000. They just increased it from 110 last year. So now you can get the international tax credit at 120,000, then you're taxed for what you earn above that. But if you live in Dubai and you do not have a US passport and you come from other countries like, certain parts of Africa and things of that nature, you don't have to pay personal income tax at all. So it just depends on where you're coming from and where your passport is tied to. But it's still a great deal because you get free money
Yeah.
and you don't pay property taxes on your investment properties. So when you own it free and clear, you truly own it free and clear, and you can leave it to your children. So a lot of people think that you can't invest here long term, but you invest and you own it into perpetuity until you decide to sell. This would not be a leasehold purchase for 99 years. Those are specific properties for specific purposes. This is free land property that you can actually purchase forever.
Denise is wicked smart. Okay, like I'm just gonna tell you right now, she knows her stuff because sometimes you can come on and talk to people, and I just don't. I don't say this type of thing. I don't say like you don't know your shit, but like you know your stuff because to me, when I'm talking to somebody who's a professional, so if you guys are looking to invest in Dubai, I would definitely get a hold of her. What's the best way to get a hold of you? Just so I don't forget to mention that, because I do have a bunch more questions I want to get into. But if
Yes.
somebody's listening right now and they're like, man, I'm interested in that, because the next question I'm going to have is it's going to be something very interesting that goes into the tax thing.
Mhm.
So if you're going to invest in Dubai, like what kind of a return am I looking for $500,000?
Yes. So let me give my contact information. So my contact information is Denise at denisethebroker.com, or you can send me a WhatsApp message at 971-5858-34407. So those are the two best ways to contact me. Social media is Denise the Broker on all platforms as well.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. And I would definitely contact her. So, I mean, the cool thing is when you come from another country, you got to learn what it takes to invest, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are probably over there selling real estate don't know what you know because they
Yeah.
are there and they don't understand it. And
Mhm.
so that's really cool. So I got $500,000. Denise just
Yes.
sold me a new construction house. What kind of a rent am I getting? I already know I'm not paying taxes.
Right. So the beautiful thing about how it works in Dubai when it comes to investors, when you purchase that new construction property, you are going into partnership with that developer. So it's pre-construction, how they have it set up. So if you buy a new construction property in the US right now, you cannot actually sell your contract to the market, right? You have to close on that property and then resell it once you own it. In Dubai, you're the developer, right? Well, you're the client, I'm the developer.
Okay.
We're to price the property in a way that leaves some skin on the or meat on the bone. Meaning you have 2 to 4 years on average for a construction project to be complete. So let's say in 3 years your property will be complete. So by 2027 you'll own that property that you purchased for 500,000.
Okay.
You actually have the option between the time that you purchase and that 3 year period to flip that floor plan, is what I've coined that phrase. So you can take that $500,000 property and say in a year or 2 years and resell it for more than what it's worth. So typically on average, developers will set the properties to allow you to get a 20 to 30% appreciation during that 2 to 3 year period. The best time to obviously sell would be when the property is fully completed and you get your keys to move in, because now you have a true market value purchase. You can sell it, people can walk into it, they can see it. You're no longer selling a dream, but you have the option literally at only a 30% threshold to resell to the market. So if your down payment is already 20%, you only need to pay 10% more, then you're eligible to resell that floor plan at a higher rate to a new buyer. So that's a cool way to quickly flip and generate income from your floor plans in this market. So that's a really, really unique strategy that I teach my investors to do, because if you buy into a property that has a lot of great amenities, that has a great location, you're buying it before it's actually constructed, then obviously once it's built, you're going to be able to make more money. when it comes to properties that once it's completed, you're looking at an average return on long term of about 10 to 12%. But short term, obviously, you can get much more. There are no restrictions on Airbnb. There's no restrictions on short term rentals. There's not even an HOA. The only thing that you
Thank
pay in
God.
regards to HOA or similar is service charges. So your service charges are going to range between 12 dirham on the low end, and they can go upwards of into the 20 to 30 dirham per square foot mark. So they take that dirham per square foot, and then you pay that on an annual basis, and that would be what's considered your HOA. But it doesn't come with a book list of covenants and restrictions to say what you can and can't do with your property. They really allow you the freedom to use and leverage your property at will. So the comps and things of that nature are a little bit trickier in Dubai because it is still an emerging market. So there isn't
Right.
an MLS that we can pull up and just run a comp report and send it out. Because this market, there's over 85% cash buyers. There's very little appraisals. A lot of people kind of set their own numbers. And it's like, if I find a buyer at this number, I can sell it for this number. There's not really many checks and balances in that way.
That's cool though. I mean, it's like the wild, wild west, right?
It's the
Like,
Wild Wild West, so it's like you have to get in on the get in while you can before it becomes tight and restrictive.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. So here's a question. So you're living in Dubai.
Yes.
You spent all this time living in the United States. You look really young. I'm not going to ask how old you are. So we're paying for all these things. They say in the U.S., hey, we need tax money. We need tax money. We need property tax, sales tax, all
Yes.
this stuff. And we have decaying roads. We have buildings, airports
Yes.
that are freaking run down.
Yeah.
Where are they getting the money to make that place so beautiful in Dubai? Or are they just stealing all ours?
That's a good one. So they do impose a 5% VAT tax, which would be equivalent to our sales tax that you would pay when you buy something in the US. So
Okay.
in your commissions, you would pay a 5% VAT tax. And I believe you asked me about the commission structure. I think I didn't answer that question. So when it comes to the commission structure, in my niche, the new construction market, the commission ranges between 4 to 7%.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
since I've been here, I haven't earned less than 5% on a transaction. So
Wow.
my transactions have ranged between 5 to 7% commission. When it comes to the resale market, it's much lower. It will range between 1 to 3%. So in some cases, it's 1% to the buyer, 1% to the seller, and the buyers in this market pay the commission. You can sometimes get the seller to pay, but they're already on the wave in which the US is going with regard to buyers paying their commission. So that's another difference when it comes to that market. And the secondary market is very, very tough. So I also prefer the niche market of new construction.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're gonna fit. I mean, you're there, a couple of years. I'm sure I mean, a ton, but I'm sure you're still like getting
Yes,
a little bit of it figured out.
yes.
What? So that's awesome. So Dubai's super safe. Like, do they have a police force? Like, how does that all work?
So I ask my guests, or when I have investors that come and visit me, I'm like, let me ask you a question. I say, what colors are Dubai's police cars? They're like, wait, I've never even seen a police car. I'm like, exactly. Exactly. So you very rarely see police cars, but that also comes with pros and cons, right? Dubai is very, very safe because they watch what you do, So it is
Ah,
cannot
got
have,
it.
safety and privacy cannot coexist. If you want to live in a very, very private area, then you also have to be open and understanding to the fact that they know where you are. If you commit a crime, you're not leaving this country, So you don't want to come here for several reasons. If you're someone who wants to commit crimes, if you're someone who wants to do any type of drugs, if you're someone who does not want to pay your bills on time from a banking perspective, so if you're defaulting on your mortgages or you're not paying back loans, that can really get you into a lot of trouble. So there are certain aspects that you want to also be aware of, and I'm like to be open and honest with people about that because in the US we have a lot more freedom, or at least a sense of freedom, It's not that they're not tough enough, listening to our calls and watching what we do the same way. It's just that it's so much more propaganda going on that we have this sense of freedom.
Yeah,
Um,
I think you're exactly right. It's a sense because I know that you fly back and forth here, I'm sure, and
yes,
they just take a picture of your retinas, and all of a sudden your thing pulls up. So
yes,
there's no privacy here. There's, like you
exactly.
said, it's a sense of privacy, and we're all
Yes,
headed that way. We don't digital currency, all that stuff. It's we're all gonna be kind of, I guess, slaves to the system a little bit, for
yes.
lack of a better term, but it just depends on where you want to go. Now,
Hmm.
as this being a global economy, what do you miss about Atlanta, and
Hmm.
what do you like say? Well, I'm really like this about Macau.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, not
So,
Macau, Dubai.
yeah.
I've been to Macau too. I wouldn't live there though.
No, no, no thanks. It's hard to live anywhere else when you once you've lived in Dubai. When I travel to other countries, I'm like, I'm ready to come home.
Really.
I'm like, oh my gosh, a pothole. Get me home.
Heaven forbid. Get me out of here.
Like, oh my God, you're expecting me to drive myself? Oh my God.
Yeah, get the hell out of here. I need a freaking driver. I need all that jazz. Hey,
Yes,
let me ask
please.
you one question that is just like kind of on my mind. So you mentioned that there's no cops, there's no drivers and stuff like that. All this stuff is really easy. Do you see like the people that live there? Like I've seen people like say, "I'm going to leave this in the store. Nobody's going to steal it." All
Yes,
that stuff happening. Coming back to Atlanta and having that sense of like Atlanta's dangerous. Like when
yes.
you go to the wrong area in Atlanta,
Hmm.
you're gonna
Yes,
get you're gonna
yes.
get got.
And yes, there are some definitely some dangerous areas in Atlanta. You need to be safe and cautious. And it's a switch, right? I have to really remember when I travel that I'm not in Dubai. So my brother, last time I was back home, he was with me. He came to visit me because I had to speak at a conference. And I kept leaving my purse down while we were shopping. Because when I'm in the Dubai Mall and I'm shopping, I literally can leave it on the bench and I can go look at my purses or my shoes or whatever, and it's there when I come back. Or you can leave it in the dressing room. Like it's just you can leave things. So naturally, I'm just leaving it down. And he's like, "Sis, why?" And it was a Chanel bag. He's like, "Sis, why do you keep leaving your bag? Like, get your stuff." Like he's panicking because he's still in that mode. Like he's used to it. It's like, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? And I had
Yeah.
to realize, like, oh my gosh, let me put this thing on and not put it down. So it does spoil you. I feel a little bit sorry for the kids that are completely raised in Dubai because they don't have a sense of what the real world really is. They lose that sense of thick skin and toughness in a way because they're so catered to and coddled.
Right. Yeah.
Um, Even my son, having an international experience, I'm glad he's had the a mix of both worlds because I need him to know like this is a luxury. This is not the norm, you
It's
know. And so I
yeah.
definitely don't miss that aspect of Atlanta, but I have a lot of family and friends there that I do miss. So sometimes that's a bit tough because I did come here alone with
Yeah.
my son. So that was a huge transition for me, especially being 9 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. Even doing this interview right now is what after 1 a.m. So
Yeah. Crazy. Thank you.
yeah, and no problem. You have to adjust
Yeah.
and work two time zones. So it has to be something that's really in you, to do to stick to this vision because it was brutal my first year adjusting to working both of these markets.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I moved to Vegas when I was 28. I'm 46 now, and I always tell people like, you got to give something 5 years because
Hmm.
I mean, it's so comfortable to
Yes,
be back home,
yes,
right? To be with your mom, to be with your
yes,
brothers, to be with your family, the people that love you, and then when you're you said you had a son, right?
yes,
When you're with your son, you have to be a mom and you got to
yes,
be all that. And you got nobody to be your
right,
like person to like comfort you and stuff.
yes.
And so I'm sure that does get a little bit like lonely or like, and but that, in my opinion, that just makes you tougher.
It makes you
It,
tougher, yeah.
yeah, like my parents, and somebody's got to be the leader. Somebody's got to be the matriarch or the patriarch that
Yes.
is going to take, because most people are not. They're not going to go and say, "I'm going to move down to Vegas. I'm going to move down to
Mhm.
Dubai. I'm going to start this up," because it's scary. So
Yes.
maybe someday you move all your family to Dubai.
Yes, absolutely. So my mother would love to move here. She's actually visiting me right now. She loves it. People, when I told them I was moving to Dubai, even people close to me did not believe me. They
Yeah.
literally thought that I was just talking, like, okay, all right, girl. They just pushed it off to the
Yeah.
side until they
Yeah.
got my flyer saying I'm going away party / birthday celebration. Like, come
Right.
celebrate with me. And it's like,
Yeah.
what? You were serious when you told me that? I'm like, yes. I haven't stopped planning. I've been planning for this. So it was a huge shock, huge transition, especially being from where I'm originally from, which is Hinesville, Georgia, a very, very small town. So,
Oh,
I'm
you
like
country.
in my hometown. Yeah, yes, very country.
I didn't know you were country.
Yes,
You-
I am. Most people don't. Most people, I
Yeah.
have to send you one of my books I wrote. It's called From Broke to Broker.
I
And
love it.
yeah, thank you.
We,
And I
we both grew up broke. I got one too.
oh,
So yes, absolutely. 100%. Yes. I believe that the people who have the most to teach and offer are the people who got theirs out of the mud. Ooh, I
yes.
love it.
From Broke
I love it. That's beautiful. Yeah, I like the colors too. The blue looks really nice.
Thank you.
How long did that take you?
On and off for a year. You
Yeah.
know how you pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it,
Yeah.
that was how it was. And I really wanted it to just be organic. I didn't have like this huge plan for it. So it really
Yeah.
reads like a conversation, like I'm just like we're having right now. Like I'm just telling you what I went through, what my story was, getting pregnant in college and the things I had to overcome when I moved to Atlanta from Hinesville and all of these things, these transitions in life. So I definitely have to do a second one now that I've done this move to Dubai because that's an even bigger, jump.
Yeah, you for sure have to do one on that. Like,
Yes,
living, like, I don't know what you're going to call it, but like,
yes.
you know, the first African American woman broker in Dubai is
I have
probably
a cute title in mind.
what you
So
got.
I want to name it "Country Girl to Another Country Girl." Like
Okay, all right. Yeah, I like that. Yes, the play on words.
from the country to another country. Like yes. So I want to show that transition.
So as you reflect and kind of look as growing up in like, because I'm very familiar with rural Southeast. I own properties all over Mississippi, all over
Oh,
Alabama,
uh-huh.
so I know country when it comes to the South. When
Yes.
when you're looking at where you grew up and looking at
Mhm.
where you're at right now, how does that make you feel, Denise?
That's a question that I think a lot of successful entrepreneurs have a hard time answering because you're so head down, always looking for what's next. In moments
Yeah,
when I do self reflect, I'm really in awe, and sometimes I try to put the pieces together, like the how, but that's where God comes in, right? Because it's such a blur. Like, how did I get here? What were the steps? Like, there's no way, I could have orchestrated this alone, and
right.
that's the beauty and the magic of just having spirituality. And I believe that that has been the grace that got me through to the next level and the next level and opened that door or made that next relationship. And it's just certain instances where it's just no way I should be sitting in the rooms that I'm sitting in. And then I just honestly believe I'm chosen. Like, I am a chosen person. And I think that certain people have gifts that God just gives special assignments to. It comes with a
Yeah.
lot of weight at the same time. So you have to take the good and the bad. But I'm just honestly grateful when I look back and so excited that I was chosen to be a pioneer in so many different ways.
Well, I love that answer, by the way. I think that's probably one of the best answers I've ever heard on that, Denise.
Thank
And I think
you.
that like, yeah, I think that like you have to be like grateful and like if
Mhm.
you the way you answered that, it's just like, yeah, it makes me think like a lot the things that I've accomplished, like I
Mhm.
never thought was gonna happen. And as you're looking back, you're like, wow, like, and it's like, yeah, there's got to be something greater. There's got to be something
Yes,
bigger. So it kind of wants me to ask the next question, which is like, now Dubai is like primarily a Muslim country, right?
correct. Hmm.
So how is that integrated as a religion? I'm assuming that, are you Muslim?
I'm not. I'm Christian.
Okay.
But they do celebrate all nationalities. So even when you go to the mall during December, there's Christmas trees, which shocked me. I didn't
Yeah.
expect that. But because Dubai is such a culturally diverse area, there's over 200 nationalities represented here. They kind of figured out a way to make everyone feel comfortable. So of course they have the mosques and you have to wear a traditional attire in certain areas to respect the culture. But then they also allow you to be free and wear what you want to wear in public places, they've done a really good job blending both worlds. Certain Arab nations are not as open as Dubai is. So
Yeah.
there are certain emirates, there are 7 emirates in the UAE. So you'll find that the capital, Abu Dhabi, is more strict, and Sharjah and other areas, but Dubai is very, very open. So
Well, this is going to be a stupid question, but I don't even know what an emirate is. Can you break down what that is?
sure. So the United Arab Emirates is the country, and then there are 7 emirates that make that up. So the same way we're the United States of America, we have 50 states. They have seven
Right.
emirates. So you can look at them as states. And then
Copy that.
Abu Dhabi is the capital of the United Arab Emirates. And Dubai is the second largest emirate out of the 7.
So what do you all guys do on the weekend there? Like everybody in Atlanta, they might go down to whatever, get out of town. Like where do you guys like I just spent a month in Europe this summer. So where do you holiday out there?
So I love that question, and let me tell you why. Because most Americans do not have passports. So when you ask me, what do I do in Dubai? I can literally go to Egypt in 3 hours. I'm going to Saudi Arabia in 2 weeks, which is going to be an hour flight away. I can go to India in 2 hours. I can go to Greece in 6 hours. I can be in Italy in 7 hours, Maldives in 4 hours. So when it comes to weekend trips or things to do, you don't have to do them in Dubai. This is the gateway and the hub for entrepreneurs around the world. So I'm not in Dubai just to do business in Dubai. I'm in Dubai because this is a landing pad for successful entrepreneurs that will lead me to doing international business globally. So when I tell my audience and my community, I have a saying or a mantra that is, I am not a local brand, I am a global brand. So I'm not Denise the broker because I'm just Denise the broker. I broker deals in real estate, in luxury vehicles, in business deals, in acquiring capital. You have to be multifaceted in whatever it is that you do. And so I don't restrict myself even when it comes to where I live. I'm dominating worldwide.
I got a title for the book,
Okay.
Country Hustle.
Country, I love that.
No,
I love that.
well, I was thinking that when you were saying that, I was like, she's just a hustler.
Yeah.
Like when you're saying, well, I'm not just a broker. So you're a businesswoman
Yes.
that has found a great opportunity for yourself and your family in a different country.
Yes.
And now what I see is you're growing personally because of it. And I'm very excited about that.
Thank
So
you.
if I'm here and I think this, and I've done several videos on this topic, is like, I don't believe the United States is the greatest nation anymore. As sad as that is for me to actually say that out loud, like, I just don't believe it. Like, I just think the way that our politics are going, the way that they're trying to divide us, like race or religion, whatever the hell they're trying to do, take our tax money and not really invade our privacy, all of that stuff that's going on right now that we all know about, that nobody's doing anything about.
Yes.
And, so I think, one of my channels that I do like to watch every once in a while is the Nomad Capitalist.
Okay.
And this is a guy who has a YouTube channel. It's about, living and moving to other countries. And he mentions, the United Emirates a lot. But I just think, like, when you're looking for, like, hey, I might move to Atlanta from California, you should be considering another country as well.
Yes.
So why would people, what is your, like, reason for saying, hey, come on, move to UAE, come over to Abu Dhabi, come over to what I've got going on over here?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm literally here to be the liaison between the US and the UAE in the real estate sector. And I really want to inspire people to think outside the box and say, you know what, let me see where else I can actually generate income. Because in the UAE, it's on everyone's bucket list, right? But when they come here, they want to see the Burj Khalifa, they want to do the desert safari, but they're not thinking about how can I actually transact? How can I actually earn income? Because one of the pitfalls that many people are going to fall into is the fact that they are not awoke enough to think about how can I actually diversify my currency. That is so important because if the dollar collapses and that's the only currency that you have, you can go from a millionaire to a homeless person overnight. So I urge everyone to forget about the emotions, think about the actual future ahead of you, and how is your environment going to help you or is it going to hurt you? So, regardless of how much I love Atlanta and how much I love my family, I can come and visit you. But what I need to build right now is another area and environment to raise my son, another area to transact, another area to earn income, because I don't want my lifestyle to change or be completely dismantled based on what a government might decide is best for me.
Right. And I think you're smart for doing that. I think you're brave for doing that. I think it says
Thank
a lot
you.
about your character. And I think it's a really cool story, no matter how it ends or how it continues or where it goes.
Mhm.
You moving to Dubai, in my opinion, is going to be a critical leap
Yes.
in your journey, because from change come growth. Listen, I just moved my whole family to Kansas City from Vegas after 15
Wow.
years. It's been difficult, so I can
Yes.
imagine
Yes.
how it has been for you. And I know you're not talking about it, but I know it's just tough
It
moving.
was
You know,
very, very tough. Like I mentioned, the time zone differences, I didn't account for. You can run numbers, you can account for budgeting, you can do those things, but you cannot account for how you're going to feel emotionally when you're at home
right?
at night for months at a time. You can't account for the sleepless nights because you can't get your body to figure out what time zone it's on, and you feel like a zombie, and you physically start to get ill because you have to figure that sleep part out because it's so important. You can't account for friendships that you have today that are gone tomorrow because a lot of people that are entrepreneurs that live close by, they live here for part of the year and then they're gone for a part of the year. So you have that, cyclical relationship positioning that you have to figure out and get settled, and you have to not only, we're still working in an emerging market. The reason I've been able to find success is because I found my niche. I found my messaging, right? I found my audience. But I didn't come here with the expectation that I would earn income immediately from the locals. No, why? Because I have to
Yeah,
prove myself. They're going to work with, their family members, etc. So how am I going to generate income? So it was very hard to get to my first deal because my first deal and
yeah,
my niche are Americans. So I'm
yeah,
overcoming so many objections to get them here
yeah,
or to spend money with
yeah.
me virtually. I'm convincing someone almost 8,000 miles away to invest in a country that many had never even visited, that many don't know much about, that I have to use my knowledge, education, and negotiation skills to make it make sense to them from miles and miles away. Not many people can do that. And so
No,
that
I agree.
is one of the proudest moments because most people can't get you to show up to a birthday party and get five people to attend. I just hosted
That's
an
true.
event in November with over 63 guests that purchased real estate. 15 of those guests purchased real estate from me at that event. All of these people that purchased are Americans. And so I'm so proud to
Nice.
see that I'm opening up the mindsets and shifting mindsets around the world to say, you know what, let me think differently, let me think bigger, let me invest abroad. And I'm leading that charge.
Denise, that's amazing. So with people investing, I think it's smart. Do the freaking conferences, get the people in there and educate them, because otherwise you're educating one person at a time.
Yes.
How has social media played into your ability to reach people in different countries?
So most of those people out of that 63 were complete strangers. They all came from social media. So some of them were past clients. I would say I knew about 10 to 12 of them that I knew before the event. The rest of them were strangers. And so that shows the power of social media. But it doesn't just show the power of social media. And I want people to get this. It shows the power of
Yeah.
proof of concepts. You should not be
Yes.
thinking about how can I get more followers or buying followers to look popular, but you need to show the work. You need to show the outcomes. You need to show people that they can trust you, and you need to build a reliable brand. And I think that that is what sets me apart, because the only reason that they are believing in Dubai is because they believe in me. And so when you're building a social media following and a network, make sure that you have authentic relationships with your clients, be authentic online, be trustworthy, be ethical, and then you can build a business from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, you got to have those things. You got to be honest. You got to be trustworthy. People can see through it. They can see through if you're full of crap. And people, they come and go. Like, I mean, you stuck with it, and so yeah, it's like, man, people come and go just like bugs on the windshield.
Yes.
Denise, I know it's later than crap. I could talk to you all day long, and I don't want to like, you wake up later or something tomorrow, you're going to be freaking exhausted. I do have one final question, and then I'll let you go. I promise. In terms of like health and relationships out there, like, in America, if you're trying to meet people these days, everybody's online. Everybody's doing like, Peloton, or they're doing the gym. What are you doing?
When it comes to dating, so I still I'm single. So if anybody, I'm accepting applications. So
If you want to apply, you just need to live in Dubai, right? That's qualification number one, or be willing to relocate.
Dubai. You have
Yes.
to have the means to travel here on a pretty consistent basis, which is hard for people who have their own thing.
Well, let's put it out there. What else are you looking for?
So, oh God, you put me on the spot, huh?
Yeah, do it. That's good. That's good podcasting. All right. So what are the pre-qualifications? We need you to be able to live in Dubai or have the financial means to be able to get your ass over there to visit her.
You have to be flexible. Even from a long-term perspective, you have to be flexible to an international lifestyle, because I don't intend to live in the U.S. for a full year ever again. So if he has to be in the U.S., he has to have either a business or a job that allows that flexibility. He has to be willing to accept my son. Obviously, I'm a mother. He can have a child or children. That's not, an issue. Just come drama free. That would be all that I ask.
Drama free. Yeah.
Yes. Come with an actual mindset for commitment. Like, if you know that you don't want something long term, because I'm not looking for short term thrills. I'd much rather just enjoy my life and stay single until that's, solid. Have spiritual, connection with God. Also be financially savvy. You don't have to be wealthy or rich, but you need to at least have your own thing going on. I'm not sponsoring any businesses. I don't want to be your business friend. I just want to be your
No, she's not a sugar mama.
I'm not a sugar mama, and I'm not a business coach for my man. Like, have your own thing going on, and then we can bring our knowledge and skill sets together to both elevate.
Well, let me just tell you, for you eligible bachelors out there, I would tell you, like, just having an amazing spouse by my side has completely changed my business. And I always tell everybody this, so I feel comfortable telling you the same thing, is like, I always say, man, you can do a lot by yourself, but if you hook up with the right person, woman, man, whatever it is, like, the two of you with your visions together can accomplish anything, truly.
Much.
Yeah, so I mean, like, put it. That's why I said put it out there. You never know. Maybe somebody who's listening to my freaking podcast, like, that's my girl, and I'm like, yeah, that was my matchmate.
Oh man, you have to go. You get the special wedding.
That's right. He said that. I'm just doing a podcast with him.
And that's the hard part too, right? Because when you are successful, oftentimes that part, your personal life, takes a hit, because you're so focused one way, and where your focus goes, that's where you focus. So that's been, a challenge for me for sure. But I'm open now because the dust is settling, a little bit. And like you said, with the right person, I mean, look at what I've been able to accomplish alone. imagine what I could do
Yeah,
with
for
a
sure.
partner who is just as dynamic, you know? So we'll see what God has.
That's gonna be that's big shoes to fill, guys. To find out, Denise, for all those people who are trying to buy real estate in Dubai, and for those gentlemen who are trying to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you, and how do they find you online? Just one more time.
Sure. So my social media is Denise the Broker on all platforms. That's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. If you want to contact me for real estate, my email address is denise@denisethebroker.com, or you can send a WhatsApp message to 971-5858-344007. That is my WhatsApp. If you're interested in me personally, I can't give my personal number, but send me an email,
Send a photo.
and we can obviously set up a time to talk from there, if the exchange feels right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's cool that you're even open to that. And that just, I always say you got to put it out there no matter what it is. I keep telling people I want an NBA team, so I'm putting it out there. You never know what's going to happen, right?
Love is a very important factor in the whole picture of success. So I'm absolutely open to it.
Awesome. I appreciate you sharing your story. I feel like we got to catch up. I definitely want to come to Dubai. And if I do, I'm going to look you up. Yeah, for sure.
April, when I'm hosting my event, Invest Dubai.
Well, let's plug that right now. When is the event?
Yeah, so my event is going to be April 17th through the 22nd here in Dubai. It is an investor conference. So if you're interested in learning more about the market, if you're looking to invest, I'm going to present opportunities to you live to be able to do so. So we're going to have a welcome party. We're going to do 2 days of property tours. I'm going to have a seminar where we break down all the different strategies that you can use to invest. And then obviously there's going to be a lot of entertainment sprinkled in throughout. So you can book it at www.investdxb2024.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hopefully you can come in April. If not, I can host you anytime.
Well, Denise, I'll tell you what, I would love to come in April, but we're actually doing our mastermind in April, but I'm not discouraging people from going to Dubai. I want you to go to Dubai, go check it out. I definitely want to go. Yes. And I'm definitely, if I do go, I'm definitely reaching out to you. And I hope that you have an amazing journey and your journey continues. And keep me posted. I look forward to reading your book.
Yes.
And I appreciate you coming on the podcast, sharing your story.
Thanks for having me.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast, yeah, you're welcome. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, I'm sorry to talk over you. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, make sure you give Denise a 5-star review. Make sure you follow her on all of her socials. And if you're sitting there and you're like scared to do something, look at what she just did. Like, get out of your own freaking way.
Yes. And I'll leave you guys with this because this is my favorite quote. And it is, you can't deposit excuses.
I like that one. Yeah, for sure. You cannot. Well, you can, but you ain't gonna get nothing for it. You're gonna get. It's
gonna be a blank deposit.
It's so crazy though that you said that. There are so many people that think I can't do something versus they can, and it's just ridiculous.
Whether you
Denise, you've been an inspiration.
So,
yeah, 100%. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.
Did you ever want to invest in real estate? Did you ever want to live the life of your dreams? Did you want financial freedom? We have a free Facebook group, the Millionaire Mentorship Facebook group for real estate investing. Make sure you join. The link is in the description. If you want to schedule a free call with me and my team and you actually want to start, I would suggest you do so. We have helped hundreds of people change their lives, and all they had to do was get started. They booked a call with me and my team, and they got the ball rolling. And I'm so confident that if you don't get your first or next investment property within the first 90 days, you don't pay, and I'll give you $1,000 cash. That's how confident I am. Obviously, you got to take action. You can't just do nothing and expect that to happen, but that's life. Life's all about taking action. Make sure you give this podcast a 5-star review, share it with a friend, and take action.